Well, that was impeccable. It was a minute's silence for Nottingham Forest to pay respects for Holocaust Memorial Day. Absolutely impeccable. Superb from both sets of supporters here at the City Ground. Sorry, Wes, you were just saying about the atmosphere, which now, as you can hear, the scarves, the red and white scarves held aloft, really to full effect.
Yeah, exactly, Dano. Like, this is what you love to see, you know, the whole stadium singing and shouting, screaming, singing the song for the game. All the fans, all the flags and all the scarves are up, and it's great to see, you know, and this team can really, this crowd can really get behind the team and drive them forward. And that's what they've done most of the season, you know, win, lose or draw, they've been behind the team, and they could be the spot they need to get a result tonight.
Well, amidst this piercing noise, Nottingham Forest will hope to protect their proud and perfect record at this stage in the competition. They've progressed from all 6 League Cup semi-finals. Not surprisingly, as we're underway, it is the best progression rate at 100%, and they've never lost a first leg. They've won 4 and drawn 2, and indeed 5 of the 6 have actually been here at the City Ground as well. They will hope that that continues ahead of the trip to Old Trafford next week. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. We're also available, of course, on the BBC Sounds app. Nottingham Forest, in their red shirts and white shorts, are playing from left to right as we look. So they're defending the Trent end. For those of you who know this famous stadium on the banks of the River Trent. Ericsson for the white shirts of Manchester United. Anthony in a central area. The return ball cleared away on the edge of the Forest penalty area, but unable to get there. And there was Martinez. Casemiro forward. Bruno Fernandes goes short and square. Ericsson, Malacia, inverted left back, tucked inside, out to Rashford. Rashford enters the penalty area. Rashford pulls it back. It actually goes in between Malacia and Ericsson. And there was Gibbs White. And now to Aurier. And Aurier forward in front of a patrolling Steve Cooper, looking for Surridge. Chris Wood is ineligible. He was cup-tied, playing, of course, for Newcastle United in the earlier rounds. Awoni is out injured. So Surridge, who scored his first Premier League goal, is leading the attack as the ball from Worrell, picked up by Fernandes, gets away from Worrell, crosses, and then it was cleared away by McKenna inside the 6-yard area. 0-0. Clinton.
Yeah, it's poor from Worrell. He tries to take a touch, he doesn't see Fernandes behind him, and then he doesn't win the tackle. Fernandes will be disappointing because Weghorst's in there for a tap-in, but in the end it was good defending.
Here is Ericsson. Ericsson rolls the ball out to Rashford, who waits for the ball to reach him, and then he sends over a cross that'll curl high and drops wide out of play. It's Weghorst's first domestic cup tie in this country. He just signed for Burnley after they'd been eliminated in the FA Cup by Huddersfield Town last January, but it's just his third appearance since that loan spell at Besiktas was cut short. So there he was in the Inonu Stadium in Istanbul, on the banks of the Bosphorus, and now here he is at the banks of the River Trent.
Where would he rather be?
How fortunes can change.
I'd say it's time for him to produce, though. Needs a goal this evening. We was watching him in the warm-up. He wasn't really hitting the target, Deno. That's not a good sign for a centre forward. So he needs to get a goal tonight for his confidence.
Maybe the white and black of Manchester United will help inspire his form for Besiktas, who obviously play in the black and white. 8 goals in his 16 appearances during his time in Turkey. This is 5 Live, the FA Cup to look forward to at the weekend. Last night we were at St Mary's, when Newcastle United have a slender advantage ahead of next week's return in the northeast. Here we are in the East Midlands as Malacia has hooked that quite badly. Wan-Bissaka was in a starting position quite centrally in the just outside his penalty area. Had to quickly race over towards the right-hand side, and here is the former Crystal Palace player who plays it short. Casemiro under control, forward ball, and Anthony sliding, unable to get there, and tied it up at the back by Lodi, who gets that ball returned to him by Hennessy, all in blue, away towards our left-hand side, and Forest go long. Anthony trying to win the ball back for Manchester United, but there was a foul there by Wan-Bissaka on the Nottingham Forest player Rennie Loddy, and it will be a free kick that Forest quickly take. But the noise was always going to be a very good one inside the City ground tonight. Looking to try and what they've done against Leeds in 78, Wolves in 79, Liverpool in 80, Bristol City in 89, Coventry in 1990, and Tottenham Hotspur, their last semi-final in this competition, all the way back in 1992. It's been a long wait, but Steve Cooper bringing back the good times to this famous club. As Malacia didn't keep the ball in play, and it will be a Forest throw on the near side, the right. Eric Ten Hag doesn't seem too impressed by the assistant's decision on this near side, but Aurier will take it. Not a great deal of movement for him at this stage as they attack the Bridgeford end of the ground, where the vocal Manchester United fans are housed in that lower tier, and Gibbs White didn't keep the ball in play. You get the impression it's still settling down.
Yeah, it definitely is settling down. Both teams are giving the ball away. It hasn't settled yet, but you're always going to expect that in these kind of atmospheres. But yeah, that's good play there from Casemiro.
He finds Rashford, who runs down this near left touchline, runs at Worrell, goes past Worrell. It's a strong run by Rashford, and it's a strong finish. There was no stopping Marcus Rashford, whose scoring streak continues, and inside 6 minutes has put Manchester United ahead. Nottingham Forest will have questions to answer about their defending, but there is certainly no stopping Rashford. 1-0.
No, it's a brilliant run from Rashford, but it's poor defending. I think Joe Worrell, he doesn't sort his feet out, he doesn't make the tackle. It's too easy for Rashford, and once Rashford gets into that position, it's a brilliant finish. Right foot, left foot, you name it. He's unstoppable at the moment, Denno. It must be a nightmare, but you've got to go and engage him earlier. For once you let him get ahead of steam and he's running at you, there's big trouble there. But I think Joe Worrell can defend a lot better. He probably does get lucky. We're going to watch the replay. There probably is a ricochet, but once he gets into that position, Denno, it's a fantastic finish.
He's picked the ball up 10 yards inside his own half, and then he's just come in between two players. It was Worrell and Freuler.
Yeah.
Nobody made a challenge.
No, they didn't. Freuler's got to go early. I'm thinking if you're going to take it, and he does. He gets a lucky deflection of Joe Worrell, and then Worrell can't react quick enough. And then once Rashford's in that position, fantastic finish.
Well, he's picked up this ball already. He's going to go to play for a throw. Wes Morgan, is there anything? I know we talk a lot about the goalkeepers union. Is there a defenders union? But if not, how would you analyse that defending from Forest?
Yeah, you know, he picked up in his own half and ran with the ball. I think the midfielder's got to come and engage much sooner, first and foremost, and then when he's gone past the midfielder, you expect probably Joe Worrell to do a lot better. And I do think there's a degree of luck. You know, he tried to push it in between the two players, and it's gone through Worrell's legs and kind of got caught, and Worrell's lost the ball, and he's picked it up, and before you know it, he's in the box and he's got opportunity to get a goal and score. So, you know, I think the defence from Forest needs to be much better. But yeah, there's a degree of luck in there, definitely.
That's Wes Morgan. Clinton Morrison is with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live tonight. And Manchester United are on the attack again. Anthony enters the penalty area onto his left foot. That wasn't too far away. He's just cut onto his left foot, and it's probably dropped, I don't know, certainly within less than a foot of the base of the left-hand post.
Yeah, it's good football again, you're right, Denno, and he's really close. Watching the replay again, good play from Bruno, and Anthony, he wants to come in on his left foot. Loddy's got to show him the line. He gets that half a yard and he bends it, and Hennessy's beaten. It's just past the far post. It's brilliant again from Man United. Good start from Anthony as well.
Hennessy was in goal when Manchester United and Nottingham Forest met at Old Trafford on the 27th of December. Henderson, of course, unable to play against his parent club, is injured anyway at the moment, so Hennessy is getting a bit of a run in the Forest side. It was 3-0 to United on that particular occasion, and already they're leading by a goal to nil with Marcus Rashford. 11 goals now. In 12.
We were talking about before, they need to tie him down, give him what he wants and how long he wants, because at the moment Marcus Rashford is probably the most informed player there is at the moment. He's been outstanding, and every time he goes onto that pitch he's full of confidence. Ball
played out by Bruno Fernandes to Wan-Bissaka. Clinton Morrison, who scored in a League Cup semi-final for Crystal Palace back in the day, 2001 against Liverpool.
Yeah, and then we were beating them, and then second leg, don't even remind me. I did an interview then. I thought we had won it, and we end up losing 4-0 or 5-0 in the second leg. So don't talk sometimes, and that's why I've learned a lot now.
2-1 in the first leg, 5-0
in the second leg. Yeah.
For those who didn't know, I just only felt
you didn't need to say that.
Obligated to fill in the details. No wonder you prefer working with John Murray.
And Ian Dennis.
9 minutes played, Manchester United are 1-0 up. Marcus Rashford on that far side, looking to wrestle away from the challenge was Casemiro. One back by Forrest, up towards Surridge. Surridge with a cut back, he'll win a corner. Came off the legs of Lindelof, behind for a corner kick in front of the travelling United supporters.
Yeah, and I think Forest can be a threat from set pieces. I think they got McKenna, Worrell going up there, Serge Aurier. They already got Sam Surridge, so delivery has to be good from Morgan Gibbs-White.
So Gibbs-White wanders across towards that far side to left. Forest playing from left to right. This should be an in-swinging corner. They've Surridge inside the 6-yard area, and then there are 4 red shirts just gathered around, just out around the edge of the area by the D in the Manchester United penalty area. Danilo is one of them. Worrell's up from the back, and then they take it short, work it back. Scarpa's low ball in, and then the overhead kick from Aurier didn't quite come off. Weghorst now can lead the counter-attack for Manchester United, and he's found the pace of Rashford, who's gliding across this what looks quite a heavy pitch, actually, in comparison to some of the surfaces that we see these days in the Premier League. Here is Bruno Fernandes out towards Anthony, waits back to Bruno Fernandes once again. It's a lovely weighted ball through to Eriksen, who tries to chip the ball towards Weghorst. Manchester United, there is a real menace about them every time they play the ball early and forward. Yeah,
it's a good pass from Bruno Fernandes into Eriksen, and he tries to pick out Weghorst. Good defending, but you're right, they're 1 and 2 touches. You say about the pitch, yeah, it doesn't look in the best conditions, but Man United are playing ever so well at the moment.
Bruno Fernandes, challenge comes in from Danilo in the midfield, and then it spins away and out for a Manchester United throw that Wan-Bissaka will take. And then he gets it back from Anthony, runs in field, the United right back. Bruno Fernandes, right corner of the area. Triangular passing patterns, and then it's broken up by Danilo on his full debut. And it's released Surridge away on that left-hand side. Martinez comes across, and the back pass there towards De Gea. And then Lindelof plays it back towards Martinez. Scored his first goal in that thrilling game against Arsenal at the weekend. And already he's becoming a real firm fans' favourite, particularly with the travelling support behind that goal, as he sensed the danger and dealt with it.
Yeah, he did. I think Forest fans would have rather Brennan Johnson. I think if it's him, he don't match him for pace, but that's not what Surridge is about. He's not blessed with the best of pace, but you're right, it was good defending from Martinez, and he's been outstanding, Deno. He's another one who's been a brilliant signing for Man United.
Here is Lindelof, just a little bobble there for him as he tried to bring it under control outside the centre circle. Goes back with the Swede once again. He's complaining about a lack of movement because Eriksen was just literally 2 or 3 yards in front of him. Eventually they do get it out towards Anthony on that side. Eriksen now wants the ball, arms out open wide, a lot of space, and he picks out Malacia once again, and now out towards Rashford. So they're attacking with real width, Manchester United. Back towards Eriksen again, no one around him. Eriksen dictating. Malacia plays it low, Worrell drops to his knees, heads it away. Aurier will head it back, and then it's cleared by Foyler up towards Johnson, tries to prod it back towards Aurier, and Forest at the minute can't hold on to the ball.
No, that's the biggest problem. They're defending, they're under a huge pressure, and that's why you need your centre forwards to hold the ball up. Just like there, Brennan Johnson come to him just to relieve a bit of pressure, because Man United are dominating. Here
is Eriksen, Rashford once again, diagonal ball, Weghorst lays it off, got a man over. Here is Anthony just goes wide, inside right channel, the penalty area. Looked too easy that for Manchester United.
It was.
Goal kick.
You know what? It's a great touch from Weghorst, to be fair, around the corner to Bruno Fernandes. And that's where you want Anthony. He's one-on-one with Lodi, comes inside. It's a poor finish. And that's what we're saying about him. He gets in these opportunities. He has to start taking his chances. It's brilliant football from Man United, but shift it, and then the finish is like laid back, like casual. Doesn't put anything in it, Deno.
Wes, as your defensive expertise, are the alarm bells starting to ring already from a Forest perspective?
I think they have to weather the storm. They have to weather the storm most certainly, because I think United are starting to get in their groove a bit, getting hold of the ball, starting to control possession, and you expect that, and there's going to be times where you're not going to see much of the ball, but you're going to have to defend as a team and as a whole. And not having a goal conceded already is not ideal, but at the same time, you know, on the attack they can be threatening, and hopefully one of these attacks will come fruitful.
Well, on the attack now, Lodi was just forced out wide towards the corner flag on that far side, the left, and then he's played the ball back. He was looking towards Gustavo Scarpa, but it was easily intercepted. It was a weak ball, and Anthony now runs forward, drifting in field. Wan-Bissaka's actually just gone down completely off the ball there. Whether that was just a slip or there was something more, just keep an eye on Wan-Bissaka. You're always quite fearful when a player goes down without any contact, but it might have just been a slip. He's back on his feet and looks okay. So Manchester United lead by a goal to nil. Ericsson looking for the run of Bruno Fernandes. He's overhit it, and it runs out of play for a goal kick. Quarter of an hour played. Stay in the tie was the message from Wes Clinton.
Yeah, and he's spot on, and Wes would know, because he obviously defending it's so difficult, and his back's against the wall at the moment. But he's right, he's obviously got the experience. Wes, and he said you stay in the game. You expect Man United to dominate. They got some great technical players, but you will get an opportunity against them. But stay in the game. You don't want the tie to be over after about 25 minutes.
Well, we talked before ahead of kickoff about Manchester United's last visit to the City Ground, where they won 8-1 in February '99. Solskjaer with 4 goals in 10 minutes. He'd only come off the bench as a substitute in the 71st minute. But Manchester United have won their last 7 encounters against Nottingham Forest, and in fact Forest never have lost 8 in a row against any opponent before in their history. But they are behind here at the City Ground by a goal to nil. You're listening to 5 Live on BBC Sounds in this first leg of the second semi-final in the League Cup. We'll have both for you next Tuesday and Wednesday. Next Tuesday once again it's Newcastle Southampton at St James's, and then the return at Old Trafford the next night. Lindelof back to Martinez. The Argentine waits, goes back towards Lindelof. Surridge will run towards him. Lindelof will pass the ball forward to Ericsson. Martinez now to Malacia on this near side, the left. Again he's looking towards Rashford, and Worrell sees it back towards Hennessy. Came at him quite quickly. Hennessy just put his foot through it.
Yeah,
they were appealing for
a foul there. Surridge was trying to pin Lindelof. Lindelof
seemed to hold him. Yeah,
he did seem to hold him. If that happens, Surridge has got to just go down. Basically, great strength from Casemiro there.
Casemiro just shrugs off Danilo, the Brazilian. Manchester United work the ball forward. Fernandes to Rashford, inside to Ericsson. Both the fullbacks, Clinton, are getting forward at every opportunity, not down the sides, but as we've seen with Manchester City and Arsenal, those inverted fullbacks.
Yeah, they are, and they're doing it brilliantly, to be fair. But the reason is they can afford to do that. Do you know why? They've got an assurance of Casemiro. So if Wan-Bissaka goes forward, Casemiro fills in. If Malacia goes forward, then obviously Casemiro fills in on that side, and that's why I think he's been a brilliant signing. You know what made me laugh then? People were questioning him. You don't win that much Champions League if you're a top player and play for Real Madrid for so many years. Would he come into the Premier League and be able to do it? He's certainly done it.
Yeah, certainly has. Quality player. The 30-year-old as Worrell back to Hennessy. First time clearance by the Forest goalkeeper. Martinez heads it forward. Bruno Fernandes lays it back to Casemiro. He then goes square towards Wan-Bissaka. Back with Casemiro once again. Missed that Arsenal game through suspension. Casemiro on the halfway line. Manchester United seeing a lot of the ball and controlling this cup tie so far. 17.5 minutes played. They lead by a goal to nil. Malacia to Rashford. His goal is the difference. Back with Malacia. Under pressure from Brennan Johnson. Martinez will tidy up at the back. But Forest at the minute unable to get close to Manchester United.
No, yeah, but that's a lot of Forest's games there when they play against the top teams. As Wes was saying earlier, they're never going to dominate these games, but stay in the game and you will get an opportunity. But you're right, when they do have the ball, they have to keep it for a bit of time, because it's hard for the defenders. And then you're constantly turning them towards your own goal and you're not getting a breather, and that's what's happening at the moment.
Back it goes to David De Gea, all in yellow, away towards our right, just plays it short. Martinez now takes over, and just on the edge of his own D will find Ericsson. Nottingham Forest retreat at this stage. Martinez up towards Anthony, tries to flick the header forward into the path of Weghorst. Hennessy will clear away towards our left hand side, floats it off to Aurier, bends his knees, takes it on the chest. But there was Martinez tight behind Brennan Johnson, picked back up by Aurier. He finds Johnson, and Johnson now is over the halfway line and a chance to run, and he won't get the better of Martinez. Although he tries to win it back and actually succeeds. But he's still got the Argentine tight behind him, helped out by Malacia. But at least Brennan Johnson wins a throw for Forest.
Yeah, he took a heavy touch there, because I do believe he's got the beating of Man United down that left-hand side, because he's got pace and he's been in good form, goal-scoring form recently. He's probably, him and Morgan's Gibbs-White, he's been quiet, are the two players Forest want to get on the ball.
And Gibbs-White has helped Forest win a corner kick on this near side, the right, trailing by a goal to nil, looking for an equaliser in this first leg, and coming across to take it on this near side, the right, will be Gustavo Scarpa, signed on a free from Palmeiras, the first of their 3 January additions to add to the 22 that they got in the summer. Scarpa, it's a dipping ball in actually, a bit of pace on that, hasn't been dealt with at the far post. It's headed away by Wan-Bissaka. Moved in the air a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was a great ball in from Scarpa. It's one of those where he says go and attack it. He doesn't float it, he whips it in, but yeah, it was good defending from Wan-Bissaka at the back post. From
the throw, they go all the way back to Danilo. He was also signed from Palmeiras for £16 million, a 6.5-year deal for the 21-year-old midfielder. Made his debut in the second half at Bournemouth at the weekend as Danilo passes the ball out towards the left-hand side. They work it inside. Here is Gibbs-White now to Scarpa, 30 yards out from goal. He's run into trouble, straight towards Casemiro, who quickly releases it to Rashford, and the Roadrunner impression for Rashford, and he's away. And he's looking for the run of Malacia. Didn't realise you came with sound effects as well as your punditry. I
actually forget. You know when you just for a minute you're thinking, there he goes, the Roadrunner. You just forget where you are then. But yeah, brilliant pace from Rashford. And to be fair, credit Worrell, because he did. I thought he was going to dive in and Rashford was going to knock it past him. And good recovery from Serge Aurier. But yeah, I did like a bit of Roadrunner.
I've got to say, given recent BBC broadcasts, I think many people would take the beat rather than any groans. 21 minutes played, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1. We're in the company of Wes Morgan and Clinton Morrison, as if you didn't know already, here at the City Ground tonight, where Manchester United are leading. And Nottingham Forest are just showing signs of getting back into this tie.
No, they are, and that's what Wes alluded to earlier. Stay in the game, because you will get a spell where you'll create chances, and at the moment they haven't created chances, but the crowd are getting behind them now. It wasn't a positive start, but then they're starting to get a few passes in.
Gibbs-White with the little spin, comes back towards Gibbs-White, cleared away by Martinez just on the edge of the penalty area, and then the ball is touched back to Fernandez, and he hits it early on the diagonal. Rashford's pace will get there, he'll keep it in play on this left-hand side. He's up against Worrell, tries to stand him up, and then Danilo back there with the clearance. Gibbs-White finds the space, charges forward. Surridge to the left, Johnson to the right, he goes for Surridge, first time finish, finds the bottom right-hand corner. Superb by Nottingham Forest. Gibbs-White was swift and Surridge was clinical, and Forest have levelled 1-1.
And it starts with Rashford giving the ball away here. They've got an attack, and you know what we're talking about, the fullbacks are so high. Casemiro's not there, it's a 3-on-2, and Gibbs-White is brilliant from Gibbs-White. He drives, he doesn't play the ball early, and he plays it just in front of Sam Surridge, where he can come on and bend that into that far corner. Brilliant finish from Sam Surridge, but Man United are way too open.
We've heard a lot tonight.
It could be offside. Is VAR in it?
Yeah, there is VAR.
I think he could be offside looking at the replay.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It will be checked.
His foot could be ahead of him, Deno. I think it could be ruled out.
I think this might well be ruled out, because it looks like his knee is ahead of Lindelof.
Yeah, it is. It's his knee and his foot, so it looks like it could be ruled out. Which Man United be lucky, because they're so open. Yeah, it's offside. Look, it's offside.
Yeah, it is offside. It will not count. The goal has been chalked off, and Manchester United lead by a goal to nil.
They got away with one there, massively. They were open, and it was a poor pass from Rashford, and that's why they were so open, committed too many players forward.
It's a shame, because it was a lovely break, Wes, but they'll have to shrug off that disappointment, Nottingham Forest, but certainly use that for confidence.
I was just looking at the game, and obviously it's starting to settle down a little bit. It's starting to settle down. I think Rashford is posing a big threat. keeps coming out to Rashford, and Warren was getting isolated with them. But I'm surprised to see how that one pass caught out the whole of Man United's team there, and there's a 3-1-2. You know, and I'm a bit surprised by Surridge. You know, he's got to hold the run. He's got to hold his run and stay on side for as long as possible, because Morgan Gibbs-White does everything he can do to put it on the plate for him, and he just has to hold his run and make the finish. So disappointing from Forest's point of view, but at the same time, encouraging signs there.
Yeah, and he took the goal so well.
He did, but Wes makes a great point. He should definitely hold his run. Don't know, because he's got no one behind him, and it's just him. And Morgan Gibbs-White is always going to delay it, because the defender would have to come. But yeah, the finish from Surridge was outstanding.
Well, Manchester City's women are leading 6-0 at Bristol City in the WSL League Cup. We'll keep in touch with Tottenham against Chelsea. In fact, there's been a goal there now. Flo Pollock.
Yep, it's Spurs 0, Chelsea 1 in the Women's League Cup. Chelsea took the lead, a quick throw-in, allowed Cuthbert to get into the box. She drove at goal, shot through bodies, looked like it went in maybe off Sam Kerr, unsure who the final goal scorer is, but 5 minutes before the break, it is Spurs 0, Chelsea 1.
And it's goalless between Liverpool's women and West Ham's women, also in that competition. So Nottingham Forest have had to shrug off that disappointment of the goal as they now look to try and equalise again, still trailing 1-0. Scarpa, left-hand side, delivers a good ball in. Oh, Gibbs-White wasn't expecting it. Struck him on the left side of his body as he was running in 8 yards out. It's a shame, it's a teasing ball in.
Yeah, it's a good ball in, and Lindelof, his body position's all wrong, and you think he's going to fall to Gibbs-White. He can't get hold of it, but it's brave defending from Martinez. Puts his head on the line there. It's good defending, but it's good from Forest. And look, when you have a few attacks, this crowd will get behind you.
The crowd are enthusiastic and hopeful that they've got a corner kick. Nottingham Forest still trailing 1-0. Corner kick far side the left. Should be another in-swinger from Gibbs-White. Certainly they can be enthused by the way that Forest have responded, as Gibbs-White now curls it in. It was aimed towards Surridge. De Gea fired back in by Scarpa on the volley, left-footed, and De Gea beat the ball out as he dived away to his left-hand side. Fine effort. Nottingham Forest are really taking the game to Manchester United.
No, they are. It was a great technique from Scarpa. David De Gea punches it to the edge of the box, and the technique, dipping volley, brilliant technique. But yeah, De Gea should be saving that. It's right at him, but great technique from Scarpa.
We've been playing for 27 minutes, and here is Gibbs-White. Touches the ball inside, unable to get there was Freuler, loses out. Eriksson now, Manchester United on the attack. Bruno Fernandes running forward over the halfway line, slides it forward. It's with Rashford, who pops up on the right-hand side. Whether that was just a temporary switch with him and Anthony, we'll wait and see. And it goes behind for a corner kick. Every time Rashford looks a threat.
Yeah, he does look a threat, and he's got pace. And Wes will tell you, defenders hate playing against pace, and that's one thing he always wants to stretch and go in behind. But yeah, he's breaking. I think it was just he happened to be on that side. He'll go back to the left because he's causing Forest problems. But Forest are coming back into this game.
Yeah, they are. They certainly are. Goal disallowed, and then De Gea with a good save from Scarpa. Voice of Clinton Morrison here on BBC Radio 5 Live. It's a corner kick to Manchester United, which Eriksson is going to take, met by Fernandes, cleared away by Forest to Scarpa. He's got Danilo going on ahead of him. Instead, he looks to try and set Brennan Johnson away, and Johnson up against Wan-Bissaka. That was a good duel. Johnson shoots. Only had one real option really, and he was being forced towards the right corner of the penalty area, hit it right-footed, and De Gea low down made the save.
Yeah, to be fair, if he got his head up, Danilo, it was a great race to be fair, and he beat Wan-Bissaka to the ball. Great pace from Brennan Johnson, and he does well, but if he gets his head up, Danilo, he can square it to him, but his head's always down, and it's a comfortable save from David De Gea.
FA Cup fourth round this weekend. We've got Leeds United away to Accrington for our first commentary on Saturday at 12:30. Fulham Sunderland at Craven Cottage at 3 o'clock. Preston Tottenham at 6, and then Manchester United against Reading at Old Trafford at 8 rounds off our action for you on Saturday. And then Sunday, Brighton Liverpool at 1:30, and Wrexham against Sheffield United at 4:30. And then Monday night, not too far from here, just down the Brian Clough Way, Derby County against West Ham United will conclude our coverage of FA Cup fourth round weekend. But this is the League Cup semi-finals. Manchester United leading by a goal to nil. Coming forward, Eriksson then runs back midway through the Forest half in their white shirts and black shorts, now with Casemiro outside the centre circle. Martinez to Rashford, near side the left. Aurier goes close towards him, passes the ball back to Malacia, and now Manchester United just outside the centre circle to Lindelof. Eriksen once again will come deep to collect the ball forward. Fernandes lays it off to Wan-Bissaka on that far side, the right, midway through the Forest half. With the exception of Surridge, everybody for a red shirt is back behind the ball. Casemiro now takes over, rolls it to Martinez. He lays it off first time to Lindelof, and Manchester United biding their time as we approach the half hour.
I look at where the fullbacks are. The fullbacks are high like the centre forwards, in line like Wan-Bissaka and Malacia play like not like midfielders, like centre forwards.
Rashford left hand side. Rashford waits, support from Malacia, and then with Brennan Johnson snapping away at his heels. A little stumble by Malacia, he recovers and manages to play the ball back to the halfway line to Lindelof. An awkward moment, but now he's back forward once again. The ball threaded through by Eriksen was blocked, comes back to Eriksen, lifts it up into the air. Weghorst trying to pick up the pieces, and Aurier will clear for Nottingham Forest, who still trail. Casemiro, 2 or 3 excellent touches, but he loses out, and now it's with Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White has done well, inside to Brennan Johnson, glides past one challenge and the other, superb by Johnson, and the rising right-footed effort is over the top for a goal kick. Forest are growing in confidence, they trail 1-0.
I told you he's a starter, the kid. Over the last 6 weeks he's been outstanding, and it's like something's clicked with him and said, I'm a Premier League player. But it's great feat. Casemiro does too much, Gibbs-White picks it up, and when Brennan Johnson's running at you, I said he could be the one who could cause problems. It goes past Eriksen, knocks it past Martinez, and the only disappointing thing, it should be hitting the target. It's a poor finish for someone who's been scoring, but great run from Brennan Johnson. They're
playing 4-2-3-1. You got Johnson on the right, Gibbs-White in behind Surridge, and Scarpa on the left. Gibbs-White is a player who really seems to be coming into his own now for Forest.
No, he is. I think he believes he should be here in the Premier League, and he's been outstanding. Forest needed someone to step up and score the goals, and he's been doing that recently, but the run's brilliant. I see his dad on the TV, they're showing him. John David could never do that. He was a goal scorer, he wasn't a runner. He's 6-yard goal scorer. I don't know where his son gets his pace from, because it's definitely not him.
They're the words of Clinton Morrison, if anybody's listening.
Exactly.
13 minutes to go to half-time. Half-time now in that League Cup. Tottenham women against Chelsea's women. Flo Pollock.
Half-time, Tottenham trail Chelsea by a 1-0. Spurs stifled Chelsea for much of the first half, but conceded when Cuthbert's powerful shot went in off Sam Kerr, unsighted the goalkeeper. At the break, it is Spurs 0, Chelsea 1.
Anthony in again, good save by Hennessy, quickly off his goal line. It was a good block with his legs from Wayne Hennessy.
It's a great move. The 1 and 2 touch between Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, Casemiro and Anthony. He really should be scoring. I'm going to give credit to Hennessy, brilliant save, but he should be lifting that over, and it should be 2-0 Man United.
Well, I think Wes is just about finished laughing at your joke at the expense of David Johnson. That would have really been a shame for Nottingham Forest had Manchester United got a second goal, as they once again United are attacking, cleared away by Lodi, because the home side have come back into this game, Wes.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the home side's definitely much more control of the game now, looking dangerous on the transition. And there's a big threat, with Brennan Johnson, Morgan Gibbs-White.
Well, here is Gibbs-White with a shot
on the transition when they lose the ball from Man United.
Yeah, got a shot away there. That was appeals for the supporters more than the players for handball. Ironic now cries for United supporters of handball. It was eventually cleared away by Manchester United on that far side. But we've got 12 minutes to go to half time, and it's a decent cup tie.
It's a good cup tie. We thought it was going to be one-sided when Man United scored that early goal. Listen, they always look a threat, Man United, going forward, but they also look vulnerable at the back at the moment. They're creating a lot of... Their fullbacks are too high for me, and it's causing them problems when they lose the ball.
Aurier for Nottingham Forest, near side to right, still trailing. Just the 1 goal, mind you. Freuler, right of the centre circle, goes back to McKenna. McKenna comes forward along the ground, finds Danilo able to turn. The return ball from Gibbs-White. They thought he may have been impeded, but Michael Oliver was certainly on hand and says not. And now all of a sudden Anthony brings the ball away. Out it goes towards that far side. Fernandez with the cross was looking towards Weghorst. Anthony tries to win it back. Danilo, though, will get there first. And now referee Michael Oliver blows his whistle. Free kick to Nottingham Forest midway through their own half.
Deno, I've been impressed with Danilo. I've been really impressed. He come on from Ryan Yates on the weekend against Bournemouth, and he looked comfortable, and he's looked comfortable in there. He looks like he can break it up. He can travel. He picks a good pass. Yeah, I've been impressed with him.
Yeah, it was Yates with an illness at the weekend, and 4 changes that Steve Cooper has made from the side that picked up that point on the south coast. Aurier heads it forward. Surridge was the one who secured it with his first Premier League goal, unable to hold that ball as it was knocked up towards him. And now Casemiro with a flat ball laid off by Anthony towards Ericsson running forward. He got 4 white shirts going on ahead of them. One of them was, in fact, he tried to pick out Fernandez and Weghorst in the central area. And now all of a sudden, Gibbs White has got it for Forest, and a lot of room for Gibbs White over the halfway line. Passes the ball out towards Scarpa. Lottie's going to go on the overlap. Scarpa, edge of the area, cleared away by Martinez on the full. It was just a fractionally behind Gibbs White, who'd made a run in towards the penalty area. Manchester United now can counter-attack. Anthony towards Weghorst. Weghorst holds the ball up, back with Fernandez, central area, 30 yards out from goal. Can't thread it through, blocked by Freuler, picked up by Ericsson. Now towards Rashford, almost at a standstill, central area, the return ball to Rashford, takes it in his stride, overruns it, and out of play for a goal kick. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, as I said, Man United look always a threat, but when they lose the ball, they are so open in their midfield areas. It's like Casemiro, and he's just got like 3 or 4 Forest players running towards him. As I said, the fullbacks are high, maybe something Ten Hag will look to at half-time, but it's a good cup tie now, it's end-to-end, and yeah, you just can't call it at the moment.
Manchester United with that fine goal from Rashford after 6 minutes. Tennis breakfast back tomorrow, returns at 7 a.m. on 5 Sports Extra. The women's singles semi-finals in the Australian Open. Coverage from Russell Fuller and co. Down under from 7 o'clock. As there is just a slight pause in this League Cup semi-final with Aurier sharing a joke with the 4th official, who is Simon Hooper. Although judging by the quizzical look from Aurier, yeah, maybe it's not a joke after all.
There was no smiling there, was there? Angry Aurier.
Here is Danilo. Back it goes to McKenna, the Scottish international. Short, dark hair. Worrell collects it and then passes the ball forward to Aurier. Rashford working hard, trying to dispossess Aurier, who goes back towards McKenna, just outside the centre circle now, and then passes the ball to Lottie on that left-hand side. Coming forward, Scarpa running forward for Forest, down towards the corner flag, cuts it back, goes straight towards Fernandez, picked up by Ericsson. Ericsson, the return ball to Fernandez. He'll get there before Weghorst, but not too sure whether Weghorst got in his way a little bit there, and as a result there was no out ball for Fernandez anyway, because Weghorst had dropped so deep.
Yeah, you're right. Weghorst was in his way, and Bruno Fernandes will say stay up high. And he didn't want him to be in there, dropping in there. They got Bruno Fernandes in there, so yeah, he was a bit frustrated, but Fernandes can be frustrated at anything, Danny.
Well, at the minute he won't be frustrated by the scoreline, that is for sure. Manchester United leading through that Rashford goal as they look to maintain their excellent run. They've won their last 5 away in the League Cup, kept clean sheets in the last 4. It's their longest run of away wins in this competition, and it's their 7th appearance in a League Cup semi-final. But Brennan Johnson is round the back of Malacia. Brennan Johnson on the Forest right, but Martinez again came across and dealt with the danger, and he reads the situation so well.
He senses danger, and that's what good centre-halves do. We've got one beside us here, but they just sense danger. He senses it that Malacia has been beaten, and he has to come across because he's having a tough time with it.
Gibbs White, he's out-muscled Casemiro there, and Gibbs White running into the penalty area, faced by Martinez, drops his shoulder one way and then the other. Right side of the penalty area is done well, plays it towards Danilo. Scarpa waits far side the left. Danilo though will play it short to Freuler. Freuler forces the ball out wide. Scarpa now left corner of the area. In comes the cross. Climbing early and climbing high was Lindelof to head it away for Manchester United. Casemiro towards Weghorst, who's having his shirt pulled by McKenna. Gets the free kick for Manchester United outside the centre circle.
I must say he hasn't done much in the game, but that's good play from Weghorst. When your team's under pressure, that's what you need your centre forward, and that's what you're brought in to hold the ball up and win free kicks. So good play from Weghorst there.
The Dutch international never really hit the heights for Burnley. Just 2 goals in his 20 appearances for the eventually relegated side from the Premier League last year. Manchester United, they were attacking, looking for the ball in towards Wan-Bissaka, and then it was Scarpa who turns and wins a corner as he volleys the ball onto the back of Anthony, ricochets out, and Hennessy will take the goal kick for Forest.
Flicks again from Anthony, flicks. It's a simple pass to Wan-Bissaka, trying a little flick, too many flicks. I can understand if he scored 2 or 3 goals already, but too many flicks, and as I say, we need more end product from him, which he's done all right so far, Deno, but he's not helping his fullback out when he gets back. Loddy's causing problems. He has to do his defensive duty as well.
Scored a fine goal against Charlton at Old Trafford, the first goal in that quarter-final, although it was only 2 late goals from Rashford that eventually saw off that stubborn side of the League One outfit managed by Dean Holden. It was a spirited showing on that occasion, backed by their incredible support from South London. Here are a sellout City ground, 5 minutes to go to half-time, and Forest are looking for an equaliser as the ball is played out towards Loddy, rolls it in towards Gibbs-White, flicks it back towards Scarpa from long range, left-footed. It was always on the rise and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, but it's a good cut tie. Every time Man United lose the ball, they break on them, Nottingham Forest, and they are causing problems. Scarpa in particular is getting into little pockets. Gibbs-White, Brennan Johnson just need another chance to fall to Sam Sturridge, because he did tuck it away earlier when he was offside. But no, it's been a good response from Nottingham Forest.
It has, because after that goal that was chalked off from VAR, Scarpa's had a left-footed volley that De Gea made the save, and Johnson with a menacing run saw his shot go over the top. So Forest have had their opportunities. I think Steve Cooper will be pleased as to how they've dealt with the recovery from that Rashford goal that gives Manchester United the lead after 6 minutes. Here is Martinez, midway through his own half as we edge our way towards half-time. 4 minutes to the break. Martinez to Casemiro. And Casemiro plays the ball all the way back to David De Gea. They've been in a really good vein of form of Manchester United of late. Arsenal ending that 10-match unbeaten run where they'd won 9 of those 10 games. Draw against Crystal Palace. It says something actually for Erik ten Hag that he's yet to go 3 games without a win since he took charge. Had that sticky start, Brighton and Brentford, where they lost their opening games to the Premier League, but really has sorted things out, and they're coming forward now with Fernandes on that right hand side. Fernandes with the cross towards Casemiro at the far post, who lurks with the outside of his boot. That cross just drifts out of play for a goal kick. Clinton.
Yeah, it's good play. It just makes me laugh. Fernandes loves arguing. He's there arguing with Eriksen. Eriksen says he wants the ball cut back, and he's there arguing with him. But that's the way he plays. He's always on the edge, and that's why he's a top player. But
does it remind you of anybody, Wes, from his playing days?
Yeah, Clinton talk about himself a little bit there, I think.
Passion, Deno, passion. That's what Fernandes has got. He's got loads of it.
Well, here is Anthony on that far side. Just 3 minutes to go to half-time. Fernandes plays it back to Lindelof. Lindelof all the way back to David De Gea. Now it's forward to Martinez. Again, Nottingham Forest have dropped off, and Surridge will go towards Martinez. Though there's a big gap then between that lone striker to the players behind him, your Gibbs-White, your Johnsons and your Scarpas, just trying to keep their position, their shape at Nottingham Forest as Lindelof just leaves it, and there's a lull in proceedings, although a mistake by Fernandes, and it shows a little bit to Surridge, and then Surridge was unable to take advantage of that, but again, half an opportunity.
Yeah, Fernandes, he lost the ball, but credit to him, he gets back. Shows good strength, to be fair. He's not the biggest of players, but he uses his body well. I thought Sturridge might have lent on him, but yeah, Fernandes does ever so well, and it goes for a goal kick.
If that had been maybe a Woney with his pace, just somebody who...
Yeah, you're right, or Brennan Johnson. Yeah,
Johnson,
don't
just
get
to get away.
Yeah, you're right.
Here is Martinez outside the centre circle of his own half. His little glance over his left shoulder, passes the ball forward. On the stretch was Eriksen. Got a shove from behind by Worrell for good measure. And Manchester United are being forced back by Nottingham Forest. And Lindelof once again to the left back Malacia. 90 seconds to go to half-time. Forward ball towards Rashford, lays it off to Ericsson. Back it goes to Rashford once again. Rashford running in field, along the ground towards Fernandes, who holds on to the ball. Got runners off the ball going ahead of him. Ericsson now will spot the run of Malacia, goes back towards Bruno Fernandes, who will shoot from distance, and he screwed that well off target. It was 30 yards out from goal, right-footed goal kick to Forest, who still trail.
Yeah, good build-up play again from Man United. In particular, Ericsson and Bruno, they move it ever so well with Rashford when he comes off into those little pockets, but he could have just slipped that to Anthony, but he thought, let me have a shot. Yeah, he drags it well wide, and picture showing Ten Hag looking a little bit frustrated alongside Steve McLaren. Steve
McLaren, a former manager here at the City Ground. 13 games that he had in charge when they were in the Championship, probably about 11 years ago now, before he resigned, as he now is alongside Erik ten Hag, and Manchester United are coming forward, and the shot fired in by Anthony, and the loose ball tucked in by Weghorst. Wout Weghorst with his first goal for Manchester United. The flag stays down, and Manchester United increase their lead. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2, inside the last minute of the first half.
And good job we saw that, Deno, because we had people in front of us, and you did multitask ever so well, so credit to you there. But yeah, good play from Anthony. He has a shot, and it's a save from Hennessy, and instead of pushing it wide, he goes back into danger. But credit Weghorst, the finish is brilliant, because me and Wes were watching him in the warm-up, and he weren't putting them away like that. But you know what, he was saving them for the game. But good play again from Casemiro. He drives forward, and then eventually it does come, you see it here, it comes to Anthony on the edge of the box. Good touch, strike, and he's the quickest to react. As it is always like that as a striker, you're on the front foot and McKenna doesn't react, but good finish from Weghorst.
Well, he struck it powerfully, didn't he, Anthony? And Hennessy made the save away towards his left, but Weghorst on the follow-up. And it's the Manchester United fans now who are singing about Wembley already. That is on their minds, because they've got themselves a 2-goal cushion now as we enter 2 minutes of added on time. We'll get the thoughts of Wes Morgan with Steve Crossman at half time, because we'll be there in about 60 seconds time. But it's a body blow for Nottingham Forest, bearing in mind that they'd looked and had opportunities to get level. But Manchester United, through Wout Weghorst, on just his third appearance, getting his first goal for the club. And he reacted well.
He did. He must have been listening to me, because I did say it was a big night for him and he needed a goal. But the finish is good. Make no bones about it, then. People will say it's an easy finish. It's a difficult finish. He's stretching, and to control it and keep it under the crossbar, it's a really good finish. And he anticipates it. That's a striker that wants to score a goal. He could have been on his heels, but he wasn't. And it was a really good finish.
2-0 then to Manchester United. And already, unless Nottingham Forest can produce something special in the second half, it's going to be a tall order at Old Trafford. They'll certainly be looking to reduce the arrears in the second period, trailing by 2-0. Manchester United now have that element of control. There's Lindelof almost coming to a standstill, and there indeed is the half-time whistle. So a goal from Rashford after 6 minutes, and then Wout Weghorst on the stroke of half-time. Nottingham Forest had chances. Johnson, Scarpa, Surridge goal ruled out for offside through VAR. We'll get the thoughts of Clinton and Wes Morgan with Steve Crossman during this half-time interval, because that's where we are here at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2. Steve.
Oh, Wes, that is an absolute sickener for Forest, isn't it? It'll mean a lot to Wout Weghorst, but given the way they played in the first half, to have that just before half-time is going to hurt.
Yeah, it's the worst time to concede, 1-0 down, probably thinking, right, let's just keep it tight, go into half-time, gather ourselves together, 1-0, we can come back into the second half positively. But to concede then, is the worst possible time. And to be fair, I don't think Forest have done that bad, on the transition especially. They look very threatening, and I had no doubt they would have got a goal definitely in the second half, but to concede at that time in the game is definitely disheartening for Forest.
Clinton, I'm not starting a VAR chat. I don't want to start a VAR chat. It's not the right time for that. However, Sam Surridge, for everyone other than Man United fans, from a neutral's perspective, Sam Surridge's non-goal would have made the tie that much more exciting. And he's not gained an advantage, really, has he? I know that's the law, but it is infuriating.
It is infuriating. Listen, for the neutral, we all wanted the goal to stand, but VAR, they get it right. He's off. He doesn't need to go early. Wes mentioned it in commentary. He's pulling away. He just has to wait, because Gibbs White is going to commit the defender. Just hold your run. He goes too early, and he's looking across the line as well. Crossy. I know what you're saying, but that's the letter of the law, and VAR get it right, and he has to hold his run. When he gets in there, it's a brilliant finish. I totally get that, but VAR get it spot on.
I just don't like it, Clinton, and I will take every opportunity to make the point. Wes, on Marcus Rashford, I feel like we'll have a lot more time to talk about him in depth, maybe on the Football Daily podcast, but you played against him many, many times over the years. What do you think of this version of Marcus Rashford? Because he just looks so good at the minute.
I think it boils down to confidence. We've seen signs last season, didn't look happy, low on confidence, touches wasn't right, goals wasn't going in, and there's a completely different guy at the moment, especially in the first part of this game. He was getting the ball, plenty of space, and having lots of joy. And I think that first goal he scored basically shows the form he's in at the moment, and he's been outstanding. And he probably was at fault a little bit for the opportunity that Forest had that was ruled out, but at the same time, Man United know they can give the ball to Rashford, and he's going to get time and space to create something, and it's a joy to have someone like that in your team that can be the difference.
There was a bit of a similarity, Clinton, with the goal he scored against Arsenal, in that it's about two things. It's about a great piece of movement and then a great finish. I think the finish is better. I think the Arsenal goal was better because he moved inside. I think he got a bit fortunate, as we saw in the build-up. I think Freuler, Wes made the point, Freuler has to go early, has to go and commit himself. If he get fouls and you take a yellow card, you don't want Rashford going in the box one-on-one with Joe Worrell. You don't want Rashford going in the box with any defender. He gets fortunate, but what I like about him is he goes onto his left foot, which is supposedly his weak foot, and he just beats Hennessy at his near post. And you can't say to the goalie get beaten. Well, from that pace and from how close he was, it's difficult for Hennessy, but it's a brilliant finish from Rashford. And he's full of confidence at the moment, Crossy. Wes just alluded it to him. You watch at him last season, didn't look happy, his touch was off, wasn't making the runs. Now, I guarantee every time he goes on that pitch, he thinks he's going to score or create something. And Hennessy on the second goal, Wes, should he do better there, or is that harsh?
A little bit harsh, the save came in, and all you have to do is, I'm not an expert in goalkeeping, but just react.
Neither's Clinton.
You just expect the keeper to pull off the save and react, and you could argue, can you push it away? But sometimes, just to get behind the ball and create the save is first and foremost. And credit to Weghorst, he's first to react, and he's got his first goal for United. And McKenna was probably a bit flat-footed, but that's the difference. Top strikers, Clinton would say, you have to be on that front foot and expect the mistake, expect the ball to drop, and that's where you get the goals and start tallying up your goals. So it's a great goal. I don't think Hennessy can say too much about that. He's done what he could, but at the same time, give credit to Weghorst, he was first to react.
Now, only Erling Haaland has scored more goals than Rashford amongst Premier League players in all competitions this season. Guys, thank you very much for the time being. Wes Morgan, Clinton Morrison, Ian Dennis at the City Ground half-time. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2 in the League Cup semi-final first leg. We've also got Women's League Cup action tonight as well. Let's check in on Tottenham against Chelsea. Flo Pollitt.
Second half just underway here, Stephen. Spurs are trailing Chelsea by 1-0. That goal been given to Sam Kerr. She bundled home after Cuthbert's low shot. Chelsea very much in control. Spurs started this half quite brightly, then they just had a pretty good chance. Ball cut back to Drew Spence, who fired wide. And Spurs are not going to get many chances in this game, so they need to be clinical when they do get opportunities. But as it stands, Steve, it is Spurs 0, Chelsea 1.
Thanks, Flo. Other scores: Liverpool 0, West Ham 0, and Bristol City 0, Manchester City 6. Lioness Lauren Hemp with a couple of goals in that one. Very shortly, we'll be taking you to Melbourne for all of the day's action at the Australian Open tennis. But first, the news on 5 Live with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The US has joined Germany in announcing plans to send tanks to Ukraine. President Biden says his country will supply 31 of its M1 Abrams tanks. Berlin has said it will initially send 14 of its Leopard 2 tanks to the region and agree to the exporting of the vehicles from other countries. Here's the former US Special Representative for Ukraine, Kurt Volker.
We see this as Russia is preparing a new offensive later in the spring, and Ukraine needs to take back territory the Russians have already occupied. So having this capability, I think, will be very significant. It's also, I believe, a recognition from the U.S. and Germany and others that we really can't afford to allow Ukraine to lose this war.
The head of the Metropolitan Police has said that 2 or 3 of his officers are expected to appear in court every week on criminal charges in the immediate future. Some of the cases relate to violence against women and girls. Samart Rowley says we should prepare for more painful stories as the force attempts to root out corruption in its ranks. Police in southern Spain say at least 1 person's been killed and 4 others injured when a man armed with a knife attacked several churches. The suspect has been detained. An Afghan asylum seeker has been sentenced to 29 years in prison for murdering a man in Bournemouth. Lawangin Abdul Rahimzi stabbed Thomas Roberts, who was 21, outside a Subway sandwich shop last March. It later emerged the suspect was on the run after killing 2 people in Serbia. Detective Chief Inspector Simon Huxter is from Dorset Police.
Matters relating to the defendant's background and previous convictions have been shared with relevant agencies to ensure appropriate reviews are carried out and areas for learning identified.
And the Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer's called the Prime Minister hopelessly weak for failing to sack the Conservative Party chairman Nadeem Zahawi after it was revealed he paid a tax penalty to HMRC. Rishi Sunak has defended his decision to ask his ethics advisor to investigate the matter.
BBC Sounds. Find the motivation to get your sweat on. 3, 2, 1. With the Pace Setter warm-up mix. An hour of music to help get you into the perfect workout mindset. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
And we've got second half commentary on the way from the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 2. Goals from Rashford and Weghorst in that League Cup semi-final. First leg, there was another Melbourne masterclass from Novak Djokovic, who thrashed the 5th seed, Andrei Rublev, to reach the Australian Open semis today. For more on Djokovic's dominance and a surprise name in the Final Four of the women's singles, here's correspondent Russell Fuller and Gigi Salmon.
Russell, when you talk about Novak Djokovic, the numbers surrounding him are crazy. He was in a 54th Grand Slam quarterfinal. He's reached a 44th Grand Slam semi-final, a 10th in Australia, where he is looking for his 10th Australian Open title.
And where he's also won 26 matches in a row at the Australian Open, which equals a record set in the men's game by Andre Agassi in 2000 to 2004, and 39 matches in a row in Australia. Nobody's beaten him since 2018, basically, over 5 years. So that was the task faced by Andrei Rublev, who'd lost 6 previous Grand Slam quarterfinals. And Djokovic was probably not quite as good as he was against Alex de Minaur, where he was virtually perfect, but he was still outstandingly good. He dropped only 7 games. And it's just very, very tough, isn't it, for Andrei Rublev, who has a very good forehand. He is the 5th seed after all, but it's always hard to imagine just how Rublev can outplay Djokovic, and there was no prospect of it tonight.
And into the Final Four, Russ, Novak Djokovic will face a 25-year-old from America who is into his first Grand Slam semi-final.
Yeah, a few people might remember Tommy Paul on his Wimbledon debut reaching the 4th round last summer. He is almost seeded these days. He's the world number 35, and he came up against Ben Shelton, this 20-year-old on his first trip out of the United States. He's still trying to complete his college degree online, having spent a couple of years playing college tennis for Florida State University. The two of them actually good friends. Ben Shelton credited Tommy Paul for being one of those professionals who took him under his wing and introduced him to the ATP Tour, and maybe be regretting that in a sense now, given that they were playing against each other today. But Tommy Paul was the stronger and won it in 4 sets.
Yeah, he certainly was. So with that semi-final set, Novak Djokovic against Tommy Paul, let's get some thoughts from the 9-time champion following his victory.
Well, to be honest, I've been connected to machines more than I have been connected to anybody else or my bed or anything else, really, in the days off. I've tried about any biofeedback machine there is in this planet in order to get my leg ready. It worked. I'm going to keep going. So I miss tennis on the days off, but at the same time, I think it's important to be smart and wise, I guess, with the body in these particular circumstances where it's more important to recover and get ready for next challenge.
You're going to play someone who is going to experience his very first major semifinal in Tommy Paul. You guys have never met. What are you anticipating in that matchup on Friday?
Well, obviously he doesn't have much to lose, as you said, first time in his semifinals of the Grand Slam, and he's been playing some terrific tennis, I think, in the last 12 to 15 months. He's got a great coach. I know his coach. He's been on the tour for a while. Yeah, I got to be ready for that match, obviously, mentally. Not approach it any way differently than I have the last couple of matches. If I play this way, I think I have a good chance to go through.
Earlier in the day, or overnight UK time, it was the remaining 2 quarterfinals in the women's draw. And first up was Karolina Pliskova. Now, she's had experience of reaching Grand Slam finals. She's been world number 1, but she was up against a really tricky customer in Magdalena Poland.
And she just didn't serve well enough, did she, Karolina Pliskova, especially in the first set, given how well Magdalena was playing once again. She beat the 4th seed Caroline Garcia in the previous round. She's dropped only 1 set now in 5 matches, 6-3, 7-5 today. And it's one of those stories we quite often get actually at the start of the year at the Australian Open. You do get surprise semi-finalists, don't you? Elise Mertens maybe doesn't sound like quite such a surprise now, but it was when she reached the last 4 in Melbourne. Aslan Karatsev as a qualifier in the men's draw a few years ago as well. And now Magdalena, age of 30, had never previously been past the 3rd round of a Grand Slam.
And it's only going to get tougher from here as she will face Aryna Sabalenka. Now, we talked about how fewer sets and games Linetta's dropped. Aryna Sabalenka, who came through against Donna Vekic, she's yet to lose a match in the whole of 2023. And I know the season is not that long, but she also, Russell, hasn't dropped a set.
And she's serving well. She still is liable to throw in a few double faults, but nothing like the horrors of last year, especially at the start of the season. She went on to serve 428 double faults over the course of the year. But now she seems to be calmer on court. She says she's playing fewer crazy shots. She's just not going for massive aces or spectacular winners all the time. And as she has been saying for quite a long time, if she can get the mind right, she knows she's got the game, a very, very powerful game. And she was involved in quite a tussle against Donna Vekic today, even though a 6-3, 6-2 scoreline suggests it was quite one-sided. It would have been really close, I think you'll agree, Gigi, if Donna Vekic hadn't served 13 double faults.
Alfie Hewitt, double success today.
Yes, in the doubles, he partnered Gordon Reid, his long-term partner, to a win in the quarterfinals. So they're in the last 4 of the doubles. Before that, they had met in the quarterfinals of the singles. They are very used to playing each other these days, and these days it tends to be Alfie who comes out on top, and indeed that was the case today, winning 6-2, 6-4.
So that wraps up the action on day 10. There will be British interest that we will keep across on day 11, with all focus on the singles competition on those women's semi-finals.
Big thank you to Gigi and to Russell. Tennis Breakfast back on 5 Sports Extra at the later time of 8 a.m. tomorrow. We've got commentary of both those women's singles semi-finals. Elena Rybakina against the 2-time Australian Open champion Victoria Azarenka, and Magdalena against Aryna Sabalenka. What's too short, Clinton Morrison?
No, we were counting the players, and still 2 of the players are going to come out. We thought they might make a change, but just Serge Aurier and Lodi coming out longer.
Right, we're ready for the second half. You'll hear from Wes Morgan during commentary with Clinton Morrison. And if he's finished his wine gums, Ian Dennis.
It was Clinton who had about 6 in his mouth.
Oh! I'll let that one slip then. Oh.
I just thought I'd say that before you did.
I knew you were going to.
Anyway, Clinton was right. There was only 9 players out for Forest, but the 2 have arrived and neither side has made a change as we're back underway on BBC Radio 5 Live. Hennessy's in goal, a back 4 of Aurier, Worrell, McKenna and Lodi. Midfield of Freuler, Danilo, with Scarpa on the left, Gibbs White centrally, Johnson on the right behind Sam Surridge. Red shirts, white shorts, red socks, playing in this second half from right to left, attacking the Trent end as a cross comes in from Surridge and then bounces off Malacia and behind for a corner kick. So that's the Forest lineup. Manchester United have made no changes either, white shirts and black shorts. And before the corner kick, I can tell you it's De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martinez and Malacia the defence. The midfield of Eriksson, Casemiro, Fernandes, Anthony Weghorst and Rashford. as the three up front. So a corner kick, far side for Nottingham Forest. In it comes now, cleared away. Anthony tries to get it up towards Eriksson, and then it'll be back by Loddy, and Loddy in the centre circle turns and goes all the way back to Hennessy. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, you're thinking it's them corners, the set pieces are big. You have to miss the first man, and Scarpa didn't manage to do it there. But it's been another good start from Forest. They need to get the nets going this time.
Yeah, they do. Trailing by 2-0. Rashford after 6 minutes, and then Weghorst on the stroke of half time. Tennis breakfast, by the way, is at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for the women's singles semi-finals in the Australian Open, as Anthony getting involved in a little bit of a tussle with Loddy, and the decision goes in favour of Nottingham Forest. So yeah, they'll need to reduce the arrears to give themselves hope ahead of that return leg at Old Trafford next week. Certainly they will not want to concede anymore, but they've lost the ball, and now it's with Anthony. Anthony towards Weghorst. Weghorst with the shot, gets it away. Good block challenge coming in by McKenna, sliding behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, I think he overhits that, Anthony. I think Weghorst wants it into his path. He just overhits it. Good defending from McKenna. He could have got his head up, Weghorst. I think Bruno's in there for a tap-in in the 6-yard box, but good defending, McKenna.
So Eriksson will wander across to take this corner kick. We're situated in the old main stand, the Peter Taylor stand as it's now known here at the City Ground. And Eriksson, left arm aloft, with a right-footed corner kick, headed out to the edge of the area. Anthony is going to run back into the centre circle, back to Wan-Bissaka, passes the ball forward to Rashford, who collects it on that left-hand side and runs with pace. 2 or 3 step overs, enters the penalty area, comes back outside the box, goes square. Anthony, Fernandez is over on the right-hand side, inside the box, dinks it in, takes a deflection. Eriksson back towards Anthony, just couldn't quite control it, forced away back. United still threatening. Casemiro out to Fernandez, time to look up, plays it in low, edge of the area, swept away by Danilo for Nottingham Forest on his full debut. But becoming a little bit isolated there was Surridge for Forest.
He was. Wan-Bissaka just leaned on him and let Lindelof clean up. But yeah, he is isolated, and you just want them Forest to get more bodies forward. But as I said, they don't want to do that and then make it 3-0, because then it will be tie over.
The Manchester City's women have beaten Bristol City 6-0 in their League Cup quarter-final tie. This is the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, where Manchester United are leading by 2-0. They've not lost on their last 5 visits since 1992 to this ground. That was the old First Division. Nigel Clough on the score sheet that particular day. 1-0 to Forest. But Manchester United find themselves in a very comfortable position here as Eriksson on the halfway line passes the ball out to Malacia. Rashford has gone into a central area. Back it goes to Eriksson. He's had so much time on the ball throughout the whole night.
No, he has. Him, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, they've had so much time in that midfield. And I feel Forest have missed probably Yates. He's tenacious in there, always puts the tackle in, and he's the one who gives them all the energy in there.
Here is Eriksson once again. Little layoff. Weghorst then back to Malacia. Diagonal ball in the air, backpedaling, heads it to keep it in play with Fernandez. Only presents it to Scarpa, who volleys the ball downfield. And scarpering after it was Gibbs White, but he was beaten to the ball by Lindelof, and it goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw. So here we have been playing now for 5 minutes in this second half on BBC Radio 5 Live. And Loddy goes long down the left, off the fair hair of Surridge, and Eriksson with the back pass, and then De Gea comes out to Lindelof, and then back it goes to David De Gea at the moment. Took them time to get going in the first half, and Nottingham Forest will hope to try and rally at some point in this second period here at the City Ground on a breezy night. Little bit of a chill in the air.
Yeah, it just got a bit cold. I had to do up my coat and get the gloves out in the second half. I thought I was trying to firm it, but nah, it's too cold.
Eriksson to Fernandez, off the chest, chased by Loddy, back to Lindelof. Dictating the game at the moment, Manchester United.
No, they are, and it's comfortable, and they don't need to go and get another one. I think 2-0, they'll be comfortable, but that's not how Man United play under Ten Hag.
Eventually the white shirts of United, Malacia and Rashford combine on the left, and he sends over the cross, and it comes towards Bruno Fernandes about 12 yards out, and he, on the half volley, he skied it, sliced it off his left foot, and eventually goes high and wide and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was good play from Malacia and Rashford. He gets to the byline, Malacia cuts it back, and you expect better from Bruno Fernandes. It's a difficult skill because he's on the half volley, but he gets it all wrong.
When I said before that Nigel Clough goal was in the old First Division, if ever there was a reminder that life existed before the Premier League, Bill Edgar of the Times spotted that Liverpool, Chelsea, as Brennan Johnson coming forward, Lindelof deals with out of play. Bill Edgar of the Times spotted that Liverpool Chelsea on the weekend was the 50,000th match in the top flight, but only 11,836 were in the Premier League.
Wow.
So that's 38,164 that were played before.
Wow.
As a cross comes in, I've got to say, it was the English National Football Archive who did the maths rather than me. Forest, who are 2-0 down. That's the statistic that they need to worry about now. Scarpa sends over a cross, and then it's headed away by Manchester United. Headed back then, and then a towering header away by Martinez for Manchester United. Won back though by Aurier. Danilo with a low shot. Lacked a little bit of power off his left foot, and De Gea made a comfortable save away to his left. United still lead 2-0.
Yeah, Serge Aurier does well. He wins the tackle, he gets in front of Rashford, and it falls to Danilo. You're thinking, just strike it 20 yards out. Comfortable save. He doesn't get any power. You're spot on, Danilo.
Manchester United, who in previous rounds have all been at Old Trafford in seeing off Aston Villa, Burnley and Charlton, are leading 2-0. They're making inroads towards Wembley. They're making inroads here on the Forest defence, as Lindelof then tries to win it back after his pass goes astray. And there's been another goal in the Tottenham-Chelsea Women's League Cup tie. Flo Pollock.
That's right, Chelsea have a second, and it was a really quality goal. Lauren James tricked her putt way past her full-back, cut the ball back to Frank Kirby, who swept it into the back of the net. Chelsea very much in control on this tie. Chelsea 2, Spurs 0.
Eriksson with a shot hits the crossbar. Very, very close to getting a third.
Yeah, it was good play. They lose the ball for us. It comes to Anthony, plays it to Eriksson. He whips it, and Hennessy's beaten, and it hits the top of the crossbar, and it's still danger.
Rashford with a shot this time. That was right-footed, and it was climbing all the time, but it was well held onto by Hennessy.
No, yeah, you're right, Deno. We're talking about the first one because I didn't get to explain it properly, but Anthony did well and played it to Eriksson. He was about 20 yards out. He gave Hennessy the eyes and whipped it, and it hit the top of the crossbar, and then it eventually comes to Rashford, edge of the box. It's a comfortable save from Hennessy.
There's Clinton Morrison here. There's a stoppage in play. Wes Morgan's also alongside us. Wes, what have you made of the 9 minutes into this second half?
Yeah, it's very much Man United at the moment. Hennessy's had to be called into action a couple of times to pull off some saves, and I think United's trying to finish the two ties in this game. So this next goal is going to be crucial for whoever scores. It's going to be next crucial for the outcome of the two legs, I think. So yeah, it's interesting at the moment. So I think Forest have to just weather the storm, keep doing what they're doing, and try and get something on the counter attack or on the transition.
Yeah, they certainly look to need, you would think, a goal to give them some sort of hope for the return leg at Old Trafford next week, as Rashford has just gone down. Danilo finds Gibbs White, spins inside the centre circle and runs forward. Scarpa on this near side, the left. Going on the overlap is Loddy. Scarpa turns level with the penalty area, just in from the touchline in front of the main stand. Now Anthony then went down, holding his face, seemed irritated by that, chased after him. Cross comes in from Scarpa, and then the shot then from Gibbs White was a low one, right-footed, and then the two of them hug, and then Scarpa pats the back of Anthony. But there was a red miss moment there, wasn't there?
It was, but you got to tell Anthony he's football. Imagine him playing against Wes Morgan if he's worried about elbow from Scarpa, because I know what Wes would have done for you. What would you have done to him, Wes?
Clearly the game's changed when I was playing. You could get away with a lot more back then. Now, it's all about trying to buy yellow cards and try and buy free kicks, and yeah, I would have survived in this day and age.
Garnacho's going to be coming on for Manchester United. Gareth Southgate and Steve Holland are here tonight at the City Ground. We're not that far away actually from the director's box here in the press box of the main stand as Casemiro chips the ball over the head of Weghorst. It goes. Aurier on the cover with a header back towards his goalkeeper. Garnacho is very, very lively.
Yes, you are right. Still a youngster as well.
Still a youngster. A few disciplinary issues pre-season in the summer. Told to knuckle down as Manchester United get a corner kick, and Garnacho waits to come on. And the player that he's going to be coming off for is
Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. He had gone down earlier on. I just wonder whether he's picked up a slight knock.
He played a lot of football recently. I think he got elbowed in the chest, and maybe that's just saving him. I'm thinking like he got the second leg next week. He's feeling his chest when he's come off. His job's done for the night. And as I said, he's played a lot of football, and he's crucial to Man United then.
So Rashford comes off. Certainly enough in front of the England manager.
Oh, definitely. The next England squad, he's a definite starter. He's put his name down as I start as one of the wide players without a shadow of doubt. The form he's in at the moment.
In comes the corner kick from the right-hand side, headed out by Surridge, collected by Anthony, back out to Eriksson, right-hand side level with the area, onto his left foot, plays it in low, cleared and blocked by Danilo, and now up towards Scarpa, but he was on the stretch, and Weghorst has actually helped win it back for Manchester United, who certainly have been the better of the two teams in this second half. And Anthony's away from Surridge on this right-hand side. Then he checks back, plays it back towards Bruno Fernandes. Harry Maguire, another England international, suspended here tonight for Manchester United. Erik ten Hag having a word with the fourth official. Ball played over the top. Bruno Fernandes, rather than going for goal, he's played it back across the 6-yard area, looking for somebody to get the run, and nobody anticipated that. Just too far ahead of Weghorst.
Yeah, I think he done the right thing, Bruno. It's a great ball from Martinez, a great run from Bruno, and he's stretching, so that's all he can do. He can't get a shot on Hennessy's goal, and he wants Weghorst or maybe Garnacho to come in at the back post. Substitution for Forest. Danilo coming off, Deno and Colback coming on.
Danilo's full debut lasts about 58 minutes. He's replaced by the tenacious Jack Colback, who comes into the midfield for Nottingham Forest, who still trail by 2-0.
I'm quite surprised he hasn't put on someone like Jesse Lingard or Emmanuel Dennis, just because I think 2-0 going back to Old Trafford will be an uphill struggle. I feel Forest need to score a goal in this leg.
Lingard, who is back on the bench, he's missed the last 6. Emmanuel Dennis really hasn't featured too much. The £20 million signing from Watford, one of many that arrived for what was an extremely busy summer transfer window. 3 more in this January window. Of course, that closes next Tuesday night. We'll be on until 11 o'clock for what I'm sure will be an electric atmosphere at St James's Park, where Newcastle United protect their 1-0 lead against Southampton after last night's first leg at St Mary's. That's after a busy weekend of FA Cup action that we'll be bringing you on BBC Radio 5 live on Saturday and Sunday and Monday night. But this is the League Cup. Manchester United comfortable. Casemiro though loses the ball, and this is Gibbs White. Gibbs White just over the top. He'd done ever so well, and then left-footed edge of the area just inside the box, couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, they've had moments for us, and that's another good opportunity for them. And you probably want it to fall to Morgan Gibbs White, talented individual, had a good season, and Casemiro gets dispossessed there by Brennan Johnson. And when it was Gibbs White, sorry, when it falls to him, you're thinking hit the target. He's really unlucky.
Whereas they've had chances in the first half, that's probably their best one so far they've created in the second half. They're going to have to take one of these.
Inside the 18-yard box there, a man of that talent should probably hit the target at the very least, but he's been the brightest spot for Forest definitely so far, and if he can show a couple more of them chances, one might go in.
Meanwhile, Manchester United are breaking away and unable to keep the ball in play on that far side, and then the ball has been kicked away by Garnacho on the United left. Throw's been taken back to Hennessy. Gibbs White has done well of late for Nottingham Forest. You just wonder if at all he's on the radar of Gareth.
Yeah, maybe so, but I'm thinking here, Gareth, you don't need to come and watch what Marcus is doing. Marcus has been outstanding. But I'm thinking, what other players? He could be on Gibbs White. He's been in all the England age groups at a young age, so you never know.
And certainly part of that under-17 World Cup success in 2017, and that's the connection that he's got with Steve Cooper.
Or Deno, he might have been coming to watch Harry Maguire. He might have thought he might have been involved in this game. Might have.
I'm sure the FAs
have the contacts.
Would know that he'd be suspended.
Is that why he's not here? Suspended? Yes. Oh, I'm glad you've said that. Because I did worry and think, no, he can't be suspended.
Yeah, I did mention it about 5 minutes ago. I'm glad you're paying attention.
Oh, did you? Okay, I'm checking. I must have been concentrating on the game. That's a good professional checking on the game.
Yeah.
I listen to you when it's really important.
Yeah.
It's not worth talking about Maguire. He's not here, so it's not worth it, is it?
Don't worry, I do have that effect on people.
No
anyway.
way. Don't be silly, Deno.
Forest 0, Manchester United 2. Just under half an hour remaining, and
Jesse Lingard getting
mind
ready.
you, maybe Steve Cooper's been listening to you.
Yeah, he does. He's got that thing in his ear. What's it called?
An earpiece.
There you go, earpiece. And that's what I do. I just speak to him and say, I think it's Jesse Lingard time against his old club. Might be written in the stars.
Well, Jesse Lingard has scored on a couple of occasions in his previous 16 appearances. As we were saying, he's been out for the last 6, so Lingard is waiting to come on. It looks like a double change down below as well for Nottingham Forest. And Dennis, who the other player that Clinton was talking about. Forest win the ball. Aurier midway through the Manchester United half. Final instructions going across towards Lingard. Johnson. Right corner of the area. Aurier swings over the cross. Scarpa hit it on the full left-footed. Good block by Wan-Bissaka. Closed him down well. Behind it goes for a corner kick.
Yeah, it's good defending. It goes over him and he has to be brave, Wan-Bissaka. Good technique from Scarpa, but good defending from Wan-Bissaka because he got caught out like that last week against Arsenal for Nketiah's goal. So good defending there, back post.
The double change that Clinton Morrison had called for is going to be coming. Lingard and Dennis are going to be coming on for Nottingham Forest. They're playing from right to left. They're attacking the Trent end, that two-tiered stand away towards our left-hand side. It's a corner kick that goes deep towards the far post and over the head of Surridge. You would think that Surridge would be one of the players that will come off. We'll wait to see who.
They're just asking Gibbs White if he's alright, because I can see the physio and all the coaching staff saying is he alright, but Scarpa's won.
Scarpa's won, so Gustavo Scarpa, the Brazilian, comes off for Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard, 232 appearances and 35 goals.
And you're right, Sam Surridge, you're right,
and Surridge is the other one for Emmanuel Dennis.
You ever thought about managing Dennis? I love it.
Only championship manager, and that was when I used to room with Mark Chapman. I'd do anything about trying to get out the housework. Mind you, he actually did a better job than me. He just wasn't around. 64 minutes into the second half, and it's 2-0 to the away side. So let's see if Nottingham Forest, through Lingard and Dennis, can try and give Forest a little bit of hope. As Martinez coming forward for Manchester United. Only Liverpool have appeared in more semi-finals than Manchester United. As it comes off the head of Aurier, and Garnacho will run in behind. He'll actually keep the ball in play. Left-hand side, back to Eriksson, left corner of the area. In comes the cross, and it was Weghorst who tried with a glancing header to direct it goalwards. Out it goes for a goal kick, still 2-0 United.
Then I think he misses the header. I think it's a great movement from Weghorst. He pulls off McKenna, and McKenna's just tussling him, but the ball in from Eriksson's brilliant, and I think he mistimes it because he's worried about McKenna grappling him. He mistimes it. Watching the replay again, I can guarantee he mistimes that header.
Well, Manchester United at the moment are in a very healthy position. The crowd trying to urge Forest on. Colback picks it up in the midfield to Lodi over the halfway line. Lingard now ahead of him. Lingard touches the ball back, a little bit behind Lodi. Now they work it inside Gibbs White. Manchester United pressing, Foyler forced to go back, and now it's with Worrell along the ground. Gibbs White couldn't get there, bounces away off the legs of Martinez, and out of play it goes for a throw. There was a spell in the first half where you felt Forest were taking the game to Manchester United, with the exception of that Scarpa effort that had been blocked by Wan-Bissaka. We're yet to see the home side have any spell to try and replicate that in this second period.
No, you're right, Deno. The only other chance was Gibbs White, where he won the ball back off Casemiro. But you're right. In the first half, they had like a 15-20 minute spell where they were causing Man United problems. And that's what you need to do. You need to go. I feel like now's the time. Really, can't go. Man United go back to Old Trafford 2-0. You might as well say it's tie over. I do believe Forest need a goal in this game.
Well, they're still trailing at the moment. Wan-Bissaka closed down by Colback. Anthony, Wan-Bissaka, they combine on this near right-hand side, and Anthony brings the ball under control and passes the ball into the centre circle, and Eriksen now, and all of a sudden there's 2 white shirts to his left, 3 to his right. He chips the ball towards Bruno Fernandes, and that's excellent covering by Lodi. The left-back made up good ground and heads the ball behind 8 yards out in front of his own goal for a corner kick.
Yeah, it's good football, starting with Wan-Bissaka and Anthony in their own half. Brilliant. And then they get out. Tight spaces, they get out, and Eriksen's there. Tries to dink it back post, but you're right, Deno. Good defending from Lodi.
2015 was the last time that there was no side from the Northwest involved in a League Cup final. That was Chelsea against Tottenham. And Nottingham Forest have got it all to do to prevent this Manchester United side looking for their first silverware since 2017. The ball is played in low deliberately by Eriksen towards Anthony. The referee Michael Oliver has blown his whistle. Of course, then it was 2 bits of trophies for Jose Mourinho 6 years ago. The League Cup when they beat Southampton 3-2, and then the Europa League that they followed up that success with. As you certainly think that, well, they were one of the favourites anyway in this tie and for overall, but February the 26th might be back at Wembley Stadium. They're in a very good position. 2-0. Johnson, far side the right. Looking for Aurier. Forest win a throw. Liverpool's women 0, West Ham United 1 in the Women's League Cup. Manchester City already through. Chelsea going through as well, leading Tottenham by 2-0. We're midway through the second half here at the City Ground. And Nottingham Forest struggling to try and make any impression really in that final third, as Manchester United keeping them at bay. As Fernandes to Eriksen. Every time Eriksen's touched the ball tonight, he just seems to have had space around him. Here is Anthony. Gets away from the challenge of Lodi. Passes the ball inside. Casemiro coming onto this. Couldn't find a way through. Blocked. Picked up by Johnson. Johnson might have to go this alone. He's over the halfway line. He's running forward. Looks for some support. It'll come through the middle from Lingard. Lingard's touch takes it between Lindelof and Martinez. But Martinez is there and helped out by that far side and Malacia, and Manchester United effectively have done that very, very well. And Weghorst spreads it out to Anthony, and Anthony's now on the attack, and the white shirts are flooding forward. Anthony cuts inside, just outside the D, checks back, passes the ball to Fernandes. Eriksen is going to be coming on the overlap. Here is Eriksen, first time cross, charged down by Lodi, corner kick. Eriksen's been superb.
He has, he keeps the game nice and simple. 1 and 2 touches, always picks the right pass. I think he's been a brilliant signing for Man United, but I can see Man United making a double substitution here with Fred and Palestri getting ready to come on.
Well, Palestri, he came on for his debut, the Uruguayan international, for the last 6 minutes against Charlton. Didn't do too bad actually either. He's certainly not lacking in confidence, and Fred waits to come on, so the double change being made by Manchester United. Corner kick though for Eriksen to take it on this near side the right. Eriksen right-footed, cleared away by Aurier, volleys the ball away inside his own penalty area, and Nottingham Forest now up it goes towards Dennis over the halfway line. Dennis coming inside, and then firm and fair challenge by Martinez. Dennis went flying up in the air, a rather theatrical fall, but it was a strong but excellent challenge by Martinez.
He's got to release the ball. It's a great tackle from Martinez, and because he hasn't released the ball, and his manager now, Steve Cooper's telling him take it down the line instead of coming inside.
So the Eriksen is going to be coming off, and that'll be Fred to replace him. So he turns 31 next month, but the free signing some excellent bit of business there from Manchester United. What is it, a 3-year deal? So Fred will come on for Eriksen.
Anthony's coming off.
And then Anthony for Palestri, who's 21 years of age, spent a lot of time on the bench this season. As I say, came on late against Charlton, so he comes on for Anthony. Double change being made here. We'll go back to Tottenham Chelsea's women. Flo Pollock.
Spurs 0, Chelsea 3, and it's Sam Kerr. Lovely dink finish. You feel this tie is over now. Spurs 0, Chelsea 3.
Thanks, Flo. And West Ham United's women have beaten Liverpool by 1-0. Manchester City earlier won 6-0. So the double change being made. 19 minutes of normal time remaining. Forest 0, Manchester United 2. Accrington against Leeds is our first commentary game in the FA Cup 4th round weekend. Then we're at Craven Cottage, Deepdale and Old Trafford. Sunday, the Amex and the Racecourse Ground for Brighton, Liverpool and Wrexham, Sheffield United. And on Monday, Derby County against West Ham United. There's a stoppage in play, so we can bring in Wes Morgan. Wes, what would you make of Christian Eriksen's display this evening?
Yeah, well, like what you said, you know, he's always seems to find space. He's been on the ball, finds space on the ball, and can just dictate the play and control the game for Man United. You know, and him coming off, another player coming off there, I'm not sure what that was. But the Anthony come off, and I think Ten Hag thinks he's done enough to probably secure the win and probably take into the next game. So yeah, there's a few changes happening now for Forest also, and yet to see an impact from some of the players that have come on for Forest yet.
Well, Gibbs White has been he's picked up an injury. He's going straight down the tunnel, doesn't look too happy at all. So Gibbs White is replaced by Lewis O'Brien. He'll certainly provide a little bit of bite in the midfield, the combative midfielder. And then the other change is going to be Loddy, who's coming off, and Nico Williams, the Welsh international, will replace the Brazilian defender for Nottingham Forest. But we've got 17 minutes remaining, and Manchester United do look very, very in a handsome position with Wembley on the horizon for them.
Yeah, I think it's been comfortable this second half for Man United. I think they would have expected them to come out better than this in the second half, Forest, but they haven't really created any chances, half chances, and as I said, it's been comfortable for Man United.
Well, we're on air till 10 o'clock, then it's Colin Murray who takes over. If we're unable to bring you live reaction into Colin's programme, you'll hear it on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast that will be available in the usual outlets. You'll get the musings of Morgan and Morrison as well, as we record that after the final whistle, with Manchester United and those first half goals and Erik ten Hag looking like his side are deservedly going to return to winning ways. Forest with Dennis to Williams on this left-hand side. Williams onto his right foot, chips over the cross, and it's just over the head. Might have been the faintest of touch, brushing the top of his head of Lingard. It goes out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was good play. I thought Dennis might have turned and tried to square out Wan-Bissaka and get his shot away. Plays it to Nico Williams. He's always going to have to come back onto his right foot, playing that left back. Crosses, they haven't really got that target man. Now they took Surridge off, and Jesse Lingard just flicked it and couldn't really direct it towards goal.
Forest, who had been unbeaten in 8 here at the City Ground since they were still getting to grips with the rigours of the Premier League, when they were throwing away leads for teams against Fulham and Bournemouth. Certainly they've found a little more of their form as they've climbed away from the danger zone and the top flight. What are they, 13th in the Premier League? They're unbeaten in 8, but that's going to be coming to an end here in all competitions, with Manchester United looking with a 2-goal cushion as Palestri, with his mop of dark hair. Not the biggest, is he, the little Uruguayan? I think he made 3 appearances at the World Cup for Uruguay out in Qatar. And Williams, who of course served Wales in Doha, waits to take the throw, as Unai Emery is also in the director's box, watching on tonight as Worrell clears the ball away. But Forest don't look like getting into this time.
No, they don't. And you look at players like Dennis, they spent a lot of money on. He comes on, he's got to have an impact. He ain't having an impact. You see Steve Cooper getting frustrated with him. These are the little cameo roles where if you want to get into that starting team, Forest's starting 11. These are where you got to have an impact. At the moment, he's not had an impact, and I've watched him a few times where I've been commentating here, and it just looks like he has to do more. He might be frustrated because he's not starting dead on. The only way you can do that is get your head down. When you have these cameo roles, make an impact.
If the City ground was raucous at times in the first half, there's an air of resignation in this second period as Pelestri picks it up for Manchester United, comes inside midway through the Forest half. Fred, central position, passes the ball short. Fernandez helps it out towards Malacia, left corner of the area. Short back inside to Fernandez, stroked it to the edge of the area. Block comes in from before it can reach Weghorst. Back to Lindelof once again, and now with Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Wan-Bissaka. Nottingham Forest are forcing Manchester United back, and Wan-Bissaka under pressure. They retain the ball, but they are going back. They're now midway through their own half. It's with Lindelof to Martinez. But again, there's no pressure on the ball to any of those two central defenders.
No, it's been easy for Man United, and you can see in particular, don't close it down, go and force a mistake, because if you do that, this place will lift off. All you can hear at the moment is the Man United fans. And that's sad, obviously, here, because the Forest fans have been excellent, but you have to give them something to shout about, and at the moment Forest are not doing that.
Ball hit over the top. Garnacho was there, and he forces Worrell to come across and head it out of play for a throw. We've got 13 minutes of normal time remaining on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and it's the Manchester United support. Wherever they travel, they're always a vocal bunch on the road. And they've packed out that bottom tier away towards our right-hand side, and are very happy with the 2 goals that they've seen their side score in the first half tonight. Here is Fred. They're looking for a third. Fred from distance, right-footed, 30 yards out, over the top of the crossbar of Wayne Hennessy, out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Fred's been scoring quite a bit recently, but he got too excited there, then on the weaker right foot.
What was that, sorry?
I said he got excited there on his weaker right foot.
I can't multitask. I was getting some instructions from Gary. A crowd of around 29,000 is here inside the City ground tonight. They do, of course, have plans to increase the capacity, and I'm sure they'll fill it out as well, such is the way that this city has been reinvigorated with Steve Cooper in charge since he took over. I mean, 2 years ago they were languishing in the nether regions of the Championship. Certainly when he took over they were struggling, and then of course they managed to get promoted via the playoffs. It was their first visit to the National Stadium in just over 30 years. 11,004 days it was calculated in terms of an absence. They had hope maybe to be back there at the end of Feb. Doesn't look like that way. 2-0 down. Pelestri with it, fires over the cross off the head of Weghorst, 8 yards out, and the ball ended up nearer to the corner flag as it went that wide away from goal for a goal kick to Forest.
I think Pelestri does ever so well there. He squares up Williams, gets half a yard and whips a good ball into a danger area, and that's what Weghorst wants. It's a great ball from Fred with his right foot again. Brilliant pass, and Pelestri one-on-one whips a good ball in, and Weghorst, it's a difficult header because Worrell's touch tight.
Well, it's a good job that they scrapped the away goals, which they did about 3 or 4 years ago now. Otherwise, this tie really would have been over, with Manchester United scoring twice away from home. But Nottingham Forest will still have it all to do. But at the minute, it just feels like quite tame in this second half. They haven't been able to get to the same standards where they were in the first period.
No, and I think that would be the biggest disappointment when Steve Cooper, we'll probably speak to him later, be disappointed with their second half showing, because as I said, first half for 20 minutes they were the better team, causing problems. You just need to score when you're on top.
Johnson looking for the run on the inside of him from O'Brien. Certainly they won't be helped with Gibbs White going off the field of play, and they'll hope that is not a serious injury. Not playing this weekend. They're next in action at Old Trafford on Wednesday, and then they've got what could be a real humdinger here on the 5th of February. Leeds United at home, and then Fulham away in the Premier League, as the goal kick is taken short. But they're hardly out of first gear, Manchester United, at the moment. It's not comfortable.
It's been comfortable. You're spot on, Deno. You're not wrong when you keep saying that, because it is. And you're thinking, it's a big cup tie. Come on, Forest, make a game of it. But they haven't in this second half.
Can they rouse themselves for the last 10 minutes to try and get something from this home leg here at the City Ground. Hennessy all in blue away towards our right, over the head of Johnson, who drops towards the halfway line. Dennis was making the run in behind. Forrest will get a throw. Manchester United fans are making all the noise away towards our right. It's going to be Aurier with the throw. Fred can't bring it away for Manchester United. Pelestri held off by Williams. McKenna, the Scottish international, turns towards Hennessy, puts his right foot through that one, and there was over the head of Wan-Bissaka towards Lingard. Lingard really hasn't made much of an impression either since
he hasn't. I think his substitutions haven't come on and made an impact. That's what he would have been hoping for, and as you said, it's been comfortable for Man United in the second half.
Let's go back to Tottenham Chelsea in the Women's League Cup. Flo Pollock.
Chelsea cruise to the semi-final of the Women's League Cup. They've beaten Tottenham by 3-1. Tottenham's goal a late consolation, but a screamer from former Chelsea player Drew Spence. Chelsea's domestic dominance continues. Full time, Tottenham 1, Chelsea 3.
And Manchester City going through comprehensively 6-0 at Bristol City, and West Ham United winning at Liverpool by 1-0. Manchester United here in this League Cup semi-final, 2-0 up. Wan-Bissaka on the defensive duties. Goes to ground very easily, and can only say that he's won a free kick there.
Yeah, he's bought that, hasn't he? I don't think Dennis makes much contact. Wan-Bissaka just feels the contact, and then, well, if there is contact, I need to see that again, and just goes down and gets the free kick.
And De Gea in no real hurry to take it. How would you say, Wes, about the game management for Manchester United tonight, this second half? They have been very, very comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable. And for the last 35 minutes, it's been Man United. You expect Forest to probably sacrifice one of the midfielders and put pressure on the centre-halves when they got the ball, and it's not happened. And it's like both teams are content with the scoreline how it is, and you expect Forest to probably at least try and get a goal back to take into the second leg, and it's not really happened. And like Clinton keeps referring to, and you, Dennis, also, there's been no impact from the substitutions that Forest have made, which has been disappointing.
Well, Elanga is going to be coming on. Anthony Elanga for Manchester United.
Talk of him maybe going on loan then, because he's not really going to be playing much, I think.
Yeah, I think Everton were a club, but I don't think Eric Ten Hag was prepared for him to go to Everton. As Williams goes down under the challenge, and just outside the area, Michael Oliver is given a free kick and a yellow card to Pelestri. So down by the byline, left-hand side of the penalty box, it was a good surging run by Williams, and Forest have been presented with this free kick just outside the box, and it was just outside the penalty area.
Yeah, it was good play from Williams. He was clever. He just got his foot across Pelestri's foot and made sure that he went down. There was contact. Clever play from Williams there.
Could we have a rousing finish after all? 6 minutes remain.
Why not?
It'll certainly, they'll be happy if this goes in from this free kick. 2 or 3 yards up from the byline, left side of the penalty area. Manchester United have every white shirt back inside the box. And it's Williams who's going to take it. So he'll wrap his right foot around it towards the far side. Worrell was making the run. Headed out by Manchester United. Garnacho is there, left corner of his own penalty area, and he was being pulled back to the ground by Colback. And that'll be a free kick to Manchester United. And now Elanga waits to come on. This 20-year-old Swedish international. And he is going to be coming on. And it is going to be Wout Weghorst who got the second goal. He'll be coming off.
Yeah, he'll be happy with his evenings work. He's got his first goal for Man United, and you never want to wait long as a centre forward when you've joined your club to get that first goal. And watching it back, it's a good finish. It's a difficult goal to take, because he's light stretching and it's on the outside of his foot. It's a great finish from Weghorst, and that will give him confidence moving forward.
Yep, he reacted very, very well after the initial shot from Anthony. That was a blistering effort, was parried away by Hennessy. So his first goal and just his third appearance to add to Rashford's early goal. And Unai Emery has seen enough. He's saying hasta luego to his The people he's been sat next to in the director's box.
Beat the traffic.
Yeah. Forest 0, Manchester United 2. 4.5 minutes remain. Ball goes over the top. Dennis is in pursuit. Dennis to the edge of the area. Lindelof was there, and Lindelof clears, and the ball is played away. Malacia won back though by Manchester United, and it'll go out of play for a throw to Nottingham Forest to Dennis. The fact that the atmosphere is so quiet inside the City ground tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah,
in
you're
terms
right.
of a gauge.
Because in the first half the atmosphere was outstanding and you could hear them, and now it's a bit flat. But that's because you got, as players, a group of players, you have to give the fans something to shout about, and they haven't done that in the second half. So
when we say it's a bit flat, that's with the exception of the travelling support.
Yeah, they've been brilliant, the Man United fans. Yeah.
But it's a free kick to Nottingham Forest. Red shirts, white shorts, playing in this second half from right to left. Still trailing 2-0. Williams to take it. Worrell was up from the back, comes out towards Johnson, sends it high, doesn't have the power. It's picked up now by Garnacho, out towards Fred, almost stands on the ball 10 yards inside his own half, passes the ball back to Martinez, able to find Casemiro now to Malacia, and Casemiro back towards Martinez, and once again Manchester United finding the white shirts with ease, keeping the ball ever so well, and bringing the ball out of defence. And Malacia passes the ball out wide towards that far side. Do they have time to get a third goal that might well just kill the tie once and for all? Here is Fernandes to Casemiro. Fred's forward ball goes astray. Aurier is there. Aurier then gives it away. Won back by Fred. In it goes to Palestri, and Palestri goes down under the challenge of Hennessy, who dives at his feet. They almost found a way.
No, they did. I think Sergio Aurier made a big mistake, and good ball from Fred. He thought Palestri was going to get there, but Hennessy done ever so well to dive at his feet.
Just 2 minutes of normal time remain. We'll find out how much stoppage time there will be. But Nottingham Forest, who did have some good openings in that first half, haven't been able to replicate that in this second half, as Fernandes looks for Palestri in, did strike his hand as it bobbled up towards him. Elanga is there as well, comes out to Fernandes, and Fernandes shoots low, right-footed, and Manchester United are now in a commanding position, and Wembley is definitely within sight now. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 3.
No, the Wembley is in sight. This is tie over now. It'll be difficult for Forest to go to Old Trafford and score 3 goals, and it's their own doing, to be fair. They win the ball back, don't clear it. Elanga does ever so well. Williams can't clear the ball, and he picks out Fernandes, and the finish from Bruno Fernandes is outstanding. He drills it into that side net in far corner, and that is tie over for me, Deno.
Such is the enthusiasm of the Manchester United travelling support that some of the advertising hoarding has actually caved in over on that far side, and the stewards are trying to pin the United supporters back. But no wonder, Wes Morgan, that they're singing about Wembley now.
Yeah, couldn't quite clear the ball there, Forest, and I think they felt quite content with the 2-0 going into Trafford, which shouldn't be the case, and Man United's had control of the game for most of the second half, certainly, and yeah, just something on the counter-attack, and he's made the most of it, and Fernandes has definitely punished them there, and yeah, it's disappointing probably, it's been a lacklustre second half. Expected much more an impact from some of the players. That didn't quite happen from the Forest players, and yeah, it's 3-0 down. It's going to be a tough ask for Forest going to Man United now.
Sweet strike as well, Clinton, wasn't it?
It's a great strike, great technique, to be fair. There's no question, can't moan about Hennessy there, because the strike is fantastic. It comes through McKenna, and the finish is brilliant, to be fair, and that's what Bruno Fernandes offers you. He's got that quality, that bit of X factor, and he's led by example tonight. He's the captain, he's the leader, and it's a fantastic finish.
So Manchester United 3 goals to the good. Notice that they're still trying to keep that advertising hoarding behind the goal back, with a line of stewards, the police with their luminous jackets as well, and we're into 3 minutes of added on time here at the City Ground. But a lot of the Forest supporters after that third goal have decided to leave early, so there are a lot now of empty red seats around the City Ground. Manchester United extremely dominant, and that is reflected in the scoreline. Que sera, sera is the chant from the United followers in the Bridgeford end here at the City ground. We're into the stoppage time. Goals from Rashford, Weghorst and then Fernandes. Fernandes taking his tally to 6 for the season. And their dominance reflected now in the scoreline.
No, it has, and Wes was right. It's been lacklustre from Forest in that second half. But Man United have been in second gear, didn't they? You've said it whole half. It's been easy for them, and they could have just left it at 2-0, and I still think it would have been difficult for Forest. But yeah, they've been brilliant. It's been comfortable for Man United.
Certainly has, and it should be just a mere formality now for the return leg at Old Trafford next Wednesday. Reading before that, though, in the FA Cup fourth round on Saturday, and then Crystal Palace at home. So in fact the next 3 games for Manchester United will all be live on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. But here we are in stoppage time. We're at a walking pace now at Manchester United, and Erik ten Hag looking to reach a final in his first season in charge. Had so much success in his 5 years at Ajax, and Manchester United are certainly heading in the right direction under the Dutchman, that is for sure. As the ball is played forward and Pelestri's timed his run, flag has stayed down, bounces through towards Hennessy. He's had to bide his time as Pelestri, but he's a lively little character.
He is lively. Looking at him, Man United got some good youngsters, him, Garnacho, and it's all in that wide area. They do have a lot of lively players, and they got a lot of good players to come back. If they can get Sancho back flying again, they'll have a good end to the season, Man United.
So that proud record of Nottingham Forest of progressing from every League Cup semi-final is going to be coming to an end, it would seem, and Manchester United are continuing their 100% record against Forest as the ball is played to Dennis. Dennis steadies himself, right-footed shot, cannons behind and spins out for a corner kick, because Manchester United have won all of their 4 League Cup meetings against Forest. A quarter-final in 83, the final in 92 when Brian McClare got the only goal, and then 2-1 in 98-99, and now 3-0 here in this semi-final first leg. It's finished here at the City ground. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 3. Steve.
Well, Nottingham Forest are going to have to find 11 more miracle men if they're to find a way to the final of the League Cup. Ian Dennis, after what happened against Arsenal, that is a supreme performance and a controlling performance from Manchester United.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, it helped when they get a goal from the informed Marcus Rashford as soon as the 6th minute. There was a spell where Forest recovered well and responded well, and they had a goal ruled out for offside to Surridge through VAR. Scarpa then tested De Gea with a left-footed volley, and Johnson, after a threatening run, shot over the top. But then Anthony had his blistering effort beaten away by Hennessy. Following up was Weghorst on the stroke of half-time. United are 2-0 up, and then they're looking well set. And Nottingham Forest never really posed much of a threat in the second period. And as you say, Manchester United dictated, they controlled the tempo. At times it felt as if they were never really out of first gear. And then that goal from Fernandes in the 89th minute, you feel now is already enough to see them through to the final in late February, the 26th of Feb, and really makes the second leg at Old Trafford and now a mere formality.
The applause are for Steve Cooper, the Nottingham Forest manager, who's clapping the fans, and they're responding inside the City ground. Wes Morgan and Clinton Morrison are with us. Clinton, it's almost a bit of an aura around this Manchester United team under Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, we spoke about it before the start of the game. They've all got confidence. He's changed the dimension of this group and the mentality, and now they don't fear anyone at the moment. You saw it. I spoke about the game against Arsenal, where Arsenal were dominant in that second half, but Man United defended well. Be disappointed to concede late, but there is an aura. Everyone's playing with confidence. Even the youngsters that they bring off the bench have an impact, and everyone knows their role. And credit must go to Ten Hag, because for me, that's them in the final now.
Whereas Nottingham Forest fans will, they'll be proud of the fact that they've got this far, even if this is as far as they get, but they'll also be critical, and the manager will be critical as well, because you have to be. This was a great Manchester United performance, but what could Forest have done better, do you think?
Yeah, you know, just reflecting back on the game, I can't help but think back to the Surridge chance.
Yeah.
If he held his run for just a split second longer, that goal would have got in, and it would have been 1-1. I'm sure it would have been a different outcome, but the goal didn't count, and I think Man United just grew up on that, and then obviously got the second goal and they sealed it with a third towards the end. And I think the disappointing thing is the second half. You know, there wasn't much of a reaction. There's a couple of half chances with Scarpa and Gibbs White, but that was it really. And Man United was in control for the second half, and there was no threat. So, you know, disappointed in some senses there, but I think the Forest fans have been great. You know, they got right behind the team for the whole game, even clapping them off the pitch right now. You know, you'd think it's all doom and gloom, and the ties are over at 3-0, but they'll go out in the second tie and hopefully, you know, give themselves some credit and put on a good game, and, you know, get something out of the game and give something for the fans.